Hey there, friends. Welcome back. This is episode 19 of Who the Heck Did I Marry? So, recapping a little bit from the last episode. So, Ken had lost his job in Avondale. There was 9 months of unemployment. We were able to close on our Avondale house. We had enough equity in our Cottonwood house that we were able to get a home equity line of credit that allowed us to make the deposit, the down payment on our Avondale home. We have renters up in Cottonwood. So financially, we're doing mostly okay. We were living in my parents' rental home for free, so that was an expense. So we had renters for a while, which gave us a little bit of extra money, which then made it possible for us to close and be able to start making the payments on our Avondale house as soon as we were able to do that. Okay. Something else I want to say about the 9 months that he was unemployed. I said we're about to go into job number 7, but I often say that the Scottsdale job was job number 8 because he did have a temp job that he would drive to Tucson. So again, we're living in Mesa. It's about a 2.5 hour drive to Tucson. He got a temp job working at a dealership down there, kind of helping with straightening out their accounting in their office. And the recruiter that was kind of helping him find all these jobs got him that temp job, but it was only for like six weeks until they basically kind of got some of the books caught up. And he would go down there for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it wasn't even full time. He would drive Tuesday, stay at a hotel, work Wednesday, stay at a hotel. Thursday, he would go to work and then he would come home. So he would have 4 days off, 3 days on, working this temp job. So that actually was the 7th job. The 8th job is when he got the job at the Scottsdale dealership. So right now, we are still borrowing his parents' car because we don't need another car payment at the moment. We've still got his truck. We've got our quads. That's all still rolling. So we're still getting by, surviving on life, even with me being mostly the only one working. So in those 9 months, things got a little bit strained with us as it comes to intimacy. Now, there's kind of been a running theme of having issues with intimacy in our marriage. At the beginning, he wanted it all up front. I was a save myself till marriage type of a girl. I walked the line as close as I could to keep him happy prior to marriage. Obviously, once we got married, we jumped into being a married couple. That was short lived. As soon as he lost the job in Avondale and we went through this 9 month stint of his unemployment, our intimacy went to nothing. Literally nothing. As a new wife, as a very inexperienced person in that area, being that I saved myself, I might not have been the most. Again, I'm trying to be appropriate in how I say some of these things, but I did not have a lot of experience. And he was not interested. And I tried my best to encourage him or to talk to him about it. And the long story short of it is that he was blaming it all on himself, that it wasn't me, it wasn't my problem, but that he was not feeling adequate as a man, that he did not feel like the breadwinner of the household. He's sitting at home unemployed. He basically felt what's the term I'm trying to think of? Help me out here, friends. Like emasculated. Am I saying that correctly? Okay, but basically he was not feeling manly, and I am flabbergasted. I've waited my whole life to be married, to have this connection with somebody, and that's not happening. So on top of the fact that on top of all the facts that I am the only one working, he's at home all day playing video games or watching TV or whatever he's doing. I hope he's job hunting for 9 months, and then there's no intimacy. That put a lot of strain on our marriage and our connection. So he finally gets this job at a Scottsdale car dealership, and we need another car now that we've gotten. And the good news is that when he went, I hadn't said this previously, we're not truly talking numbers, but When he got the job in Cottonwood, that was quite a bit of an increase in an income from what he was making previously. When he got laid off there in Cottonwood and then got the job in Avondale, there was a pay increase between Cottonwood and Avondale. And that makes a little sense because Cottonwood being a smaller town and smaller sales and smaller dealership, him going to a larger big name, one of the major dealership groups in the Valley, he got quite a bit of a raise going to that job too. Even when he was fired from Avondale, then he got the job at the Scottsdale dealership. And if I remember correctly, he was able to negotiate a little more there too. So there's stints of unemployment, but every time he gets a job, and this is a term that I've used referring to him ever since the demise of our relationship, but I always say that he has the tongue of a used car salesman. And I laugh that a lot of his working history is in the car industry, but legit, he can talk himself out of a paper bag. He could sell you some beachfront property here in Phoenix. And that makes sense when you think about the way he handled me and all of this in our relationship. So he gets the job in Scottsdale. He needs a car. Well, you can't work in Scottsdale without having a Scottsdale worthy vehicle. So he makes the decision, as he is a manager at this car dealership, in the office side of this car dealership, he makes the decision because he got a really, really good deal that we bought a Lincoln Mark, I'm probably messing it up too, but I believe it's called the LT. So it is the Lincoln truck, basically the Ford F-150 with $10,000 to $20,000 of making it look prettier. Fake wood on the inside, leather seats, all these things. Truck, Spency, and it was a lease. That's the new vehicle. He went and made the decision. I shouldn't say he made the decision. Very much we made these decisions together. I was mostly the one working, and we did have a good relationship that we talked about these things. He didn't just go and buy a truck by himself, but he's like, I'm telling you, it's a really good deal. He showed me the payments. I knew that we could afford it, especially with his job and all the things. And so we needed a car. We needed to not borrow his parents' car anymore. So I said, fine, if that's what you want. So I'm still driving his truck. That's still what we use when we go camping, quadding, all the things. And now we've got this Lincoln truck, which again is kind of funny because as we moved into our Avondale home and we're working and doing yard work and things like that, I remember, just quick little side story, we went to go get some rocks because we were putting in our backyard, we had trim and molding, and then we had some plants planted and we had some rocks around it. So we needed to go get a couple ton of rocks from, the rock where you buy rocks, Rock Place. And he brought the truck, the Lincoln truck, because it held more volume and more weight than the Sport Track. So we had brought several tarps that when we pulled up to the Rock Place, we had draped all over the side of the truck, all over the bed. It had a bed liner in it, but we had draped it all over to keep everything still as nice. It was a lease, but it's a truck. So we need it. And the guys at the Rock Place were just, you want us to put it in the Lincoln truck. You want us to dump the rock with, the front end loader in the truck. Yes, in the truck. It's a truck. It's a Lincoln truck. I know it's a Lincoln truck. We got it. Put him in the thing. And so the guy was just like putting the rocks in our truck. And it was all good. But I just think it's funny that, you end up with a Lincoln truck and then, you're almost hesitant to use it like a truck because it's a Lincoln truck. So anyways, that was the next vehicle that we came across. And for the time being, I was driving his Sport Track, which we ended up keeping for quite a while. So he worked at that Lincoln, car dealership for quite a while. And then he ended up being switched dealerships. And I'll tell you why and the drama that unfolded there in the next video.